So in 2019, just to give everybody a brief background. So out of the blue, got really sick, was having horrible night sweats, fatigue, started having fever, started losing weight. Over the course of that year, basically spent over 30 days in the hospital, and I looked healthy. And doctors would come in and be like, "Are you the patient?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's me," and they were just like, "Oh, sorry, I was expecting somebody different," and it was just a bizarre thing. And through months of testing and trial and error, they found like a inflammatory pseudotumor like right outside my liver, and they thought it was cancer. So literally, I mean, here I was like 38 years old, basically like they're trying to, for months and months, it was like, oh, you do have cancer, you don't have cancer. And then I had to have 3 or 4 different biopsies where they're basically saying, okay, we think it's cancer. We're going to biopsy. You're going to have to wait for, 3 days, 2 to 3 days to first figure out what type of cancer it is. And then we're going to figure out what the treatment is. Well, you don't have to be a medical genius to know that anything liver cancer related is not good. Right. And so that was a point where I was just like, literally facing death. I mean, like the thought of dying was very, very, very real. And during that time, I became super weak. I lost a ton of weight. I was really, really sick. I was having fevers of literally 101 to 104 every single day for months. Damn. Like months and months, and chills and sweats and like shaking. And I was really, really sick. So tried a bunch of different therapies, went to the Mayo Clinic, some other places, and it got worse and worse and worse. The tumor grew to 11 centimeters, and so I had to have it removed. I had 40% of my liver plus the tumor removed. It was like I think a 9-hour surgery. I was in intensive care for several days after that. The second day, I had internal bleeding, had to go back in for emergency surgery. A couple days after that, I got C. diff, which is like a bad gut infection that like older people die from. And so it was just a nightmare. I mean, it was just a really, really tough time. I would walk around anywhere from 170 to 175, got down to 134 pounds. So, it was just sticky skin and bones. I didn't eat anything for like 11 days during the surgery. Literally nothing other than like a liquid IV, no nutrient-based IV, just because of the surgery and how intense it was. So anyway, I came out of that, and then at the same time ended up going through a really rough breakup in my personal life and a relationship that I was in. So I just, this is October, November of 2020, so almost exactly, of 19, so almost exactly 2 years ago. And so that was just at a point where I'm like, man, I think I'm doing everything right. And, I've put my health and stuff first, but it was really just a wake-up call, to, looking at death and looking at life and deciding what's important.